Okay, so yeah, good evening. Yes, of course, I have noted the the resignation of Director General for Anti-Corruption Commission, Tom. I am sure that is just President Hakainde Hichilema relieving him of his duties after the pressure that came, particularly from that lecture from UNZA. And, also other people that spoke out, Laura Miti weighed on the issue, Emmanuel Mwamba, and many other people. And finally, he has been relieved of his duties. And we know of, the internal, I don't know if I would call them wrangles, but internal drift between management and the board at ACC. We know, some of us know that the board has been very strong on some of these issues, and yet the management has not been acting on some of these cases, particularly cases relating to the current ruling party. Because you see, President Hakainde Hichilema always likes to speak like there is no corruption in his government, like corruption was just in PF. But from what has been happening, confirmed by the recent Financial Intelligence Center report, it is very clear that corruption is actually happening seriously in this government of President Hakainde Hichilema. And it's not only in this report. Remember, even in the last report, there were some serious revelations. And out of all that, we have not seen anyone from this current government being followed by the law enforcers. We haven't seen that. Edgar Lungu had his own weaknesses, but at least we saw some people being followed. Some people being followed. Today, as we speak, unfortunately, not that I agree with it. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with Emeline Kabanshi. Emeline Kabanshi is in prison, but I'm basically trying to use that as an example of how Edgar Lungu, at least tried to allow investigations to happen, even among, his people, which is different from this government. In Edgar Lungu, we saw a number of his people in that administration being summoned to SEC, and some of them, being investigated publicly. We knew that they were being investigated, including some of these people that we talk about. Look at Amos Chanda. Amos Chanda was searched. Amos Chanda was questioned a number of times. Then we look at Kaiza Zulu himself. He was questioned. He was, he was searched. Then we also have Emeline Kabanshi, for example. This case that convicted Emeline Kabanshi to be in prison today started during Edgar Lungu. We even had to relieve Emeline Kabanshi. Not that I agree with the issue of Emeline Kabanshi. I have not agreed, because Emeline Kabanshi did not pocket the money. Emeline Kabanshi, she's in prison today, but she did not pocket the money. So from my point of view, I'm just giving that as an example that when there were allegations of corruption, Edgar Lungu allowed those investigations to go on. Then we have Chitotela. Chitotela. It started during the time of Edgar Lungu. We have Chitanuchi Lufia. It's the cases. I mean, Chitanuchi Lufia even had to go to court. So at least we saw something there. We saw something there. But when you look at Hakainde Hichilema, there are a number of cases that we know. Some of these cases have even brought them here in public. We know of the issues of fertilizer. We know the issues of medicines. We know the issues of SEC date and whatever. Among other government officials, we know, but we don't see Hakainde Hichilema moving in that direction. President Hakainde Hichilema himself is also on the spot. Some of you, I saw somebody saying, showing a road, Ndola Dual Carriageway, and saying, you should sometimes look at this road. I mean, that road, when I look at it, it's nothing but a manifestation of the corruption that is currently going on. That is one of a scandal. The Ndola Dual Carriageway is a scandal in our country as a corruption act. Anyway, we have all these things, and we have also the report coming from the Financial Intelligence Center. But the Financial Intelligence Center report, means nothing. Of course, he's good at talking. He issued a statement urging the investigation units to go for these people. But we know that in Hakainde Hichilema, people cannot just be investigated just like that. They can't just be investigated. They can't. People are scared. People are more scared now. People are more scared now than they were in any of the government. Ninan, who can jump in this government? Who can jump in this government? People are more scared. Who has the courage to do anything in this government? People are frozen. People are so frozen. They are scared to do anything. So we cannot pretend. We cannot pretend that SEC would go for some of these people. One name almost came to my mouth, but I want to admit that sometimes Naninda Shintukira, when some of the people that are involved my friend, I don't know if you can call it also corruption, but nonetheless, we are not seeing that coherency in terms of fighting corruption under the UPND, and therefore we should not accept this rhetoric of talking about former Edgar Chabalungu's government as corrupt and what. Let's go and buy maize, let's go and buy desks. What nonsense? Why are you talking about past corruption when there's corruption in your government? You should actually stop doing that. You should stop. Don't stop talking about the past corruption. Past corruption, and yet you are living in corruption. When some of us look at you, we are seeing corruption embodiment. We are seeing the manifestation of corruption. And one example that I'm giving you is that in dual carriageway. From there, I can talk about the mines. Even what is happening at KCM is total corruption. What is happening at Mopani is total corruption. What is happening in Zesco, more corruption. So what are you telling us? So some of us, we can't be cheated. And eventually people, also the Zambian people, will realize about some of these things. But from today's point of view, I want us to realize that some of us, we tend to appear critical, and I know I'm not liked by so many people because I am critical. And I bring out issues as they are. And sometimes I even speak about people that others would think that, no, these are my friends, I should not touch, and we have got these tendencies. You see, now I am facing a certain reality which I want to bring out tonight. You see, the reality that I'm facing these days is that from the UPND side, when you criticize this government, they are branding it as hatred for Hakainde Hichilema. They are branding it as tribalism. They are branding it as hate speech. They are branding it as dividing the country. But what nonsense is that? What nonsense is that? How is me talking about corruption? How is me talking about the bad governance of Hakainde Hichilema? The high prices of commodities. How is that hatred for Hakainde Hichilema? How? Why do you jump to go to talk about hatred for Hakainde Hichilema instead of you looking at the issue that I'm talking about? Because one thing that you have to know is that for me, when I make a statement, I always attach it to the facts. I always attach it to the facts. I don't just make a statement. When I talk about corruption, I don't just say, no, in Hakainde Hichilema there is corruption. No, I attach one incident which will point to corruption. Like in this case, when I'm talking about corruption, I'm attaching, particular incidences. I can attach the issues of agriculture input. I can attach the dual carriageway. I can attach KCM. I can attach Mopani. And you don't want me to go in details of that. You all know these are things that are in public domain. So why don't you challenge me on those issues that I'm bringing? Why are you bringing, no, it is hatred for Hakainde Hichilema? Why are you bringing, no, it is tribalism? Tribalism for what? It is Hakainde Hichilema practicing tribalism. And when I say it is Hakainde Hichilema practicing tribalism, I can tell you, I can show you that this government is more inclined to appointing people from one region. It is very clear, it is very evident. The Mdala Fred Membe brings out this issue very well. He has got very good data about it. When he starts talking about it, you really see that clearly there is tribalism in the way that President Hakainde Hichilema makes his appointment, in the way that people that deal with government are being selected. On many issues, you would actually see that yes, there is tribalism. So by the fact that I point out this doesn't mean that I'm being tribal. Tribal to who? Tribal to who? I am pointing out that this shouldn't be happening. No, you are dividing the country. Who is dividing the country? It is Hakainde Hichilema who is dividing the country. Where the one region is feeling like we are not being considered. We are not being considered. Only this side is being considered. Where in the same offices, you find that certain people feel that they are more privileged, feel that they have got more right, feel that they are more entitled in government offices. And this is happening in the civil service. Go to those people that have been surrendered to PCMD. Majority of those are coming from one region. So clearly, I mean, these are things that we're talking about. So this is the division that President Hakainde Hichilema is bringing. It's not me bringing division. It is me pointing out the weaknesses. And no, it is hate speech. You criticize HH, it is hate speech. You even ended up being arrested. being arrested and being given serious charges. We are here. I'll keep talking about this. I am here because you have given me, frivolous charges just to fix me, just to make me stop talking. And some of you even become foolish to say, no, 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 it is your mouth, it is your mouth. It is my mouth pointing out what is wrong in our government, what is wrong in our country. And somebody ought to speak about this. And I'm telling you, I have no regrets for speaking out on some of these issues, because one thing I don't do is lie against anybody. I don't defame people. I don't insult people. I don't lie against people. I'm not malicious. I only bring out issues as they are. And somebody who is affected gets to feel, happy that I've spoken about these issues. I have a following. A number of people are following. They are following because they do agree with me that some of the issues I bring, they affect them. Some of them are victims of these incidents.